Welcome to the Oildown Factory, where the sound is as colorful and tasty as the national dish. We talking soca and calypso. We talking carnival. We talking the introduction of the artists who are making a difference in the culture of Grenada, Cadico, and Petit Martin via their art form. In this particular time, we're going to speak to a brother. His sobriquet is Ello. So give me the full name.
The full name, Elwin Mark.
I know you're a brother who has been very prominent with the calypso and soca in Grenada for a while now. How long now?
Well, actually, I started off in 2001. So actually, this year, 2013, would make it what?
So officially, you're 12 years in the business. 12 years. And are you based in the local diaspora right now?
Well, yes, I'm based in the diaspora. I'm based right here in Brooklyn, New York, to be exact. But you know, I'm now back in the music, as you may have known or realized. I took a break, you know, a 4-year break from performing and being out there. But officially, I'm back this year, and I live in the diaspora, but I'm representing Spice Greens, you know, the oil down.
To the fullness. Yeah. Why'd you take a break?
Well, you know, when you come out, when you decide to travel and, you know, different decisions in life, you know, you make different turns. And I was doing family, you know, I was just trying to concentrate and focusing on setting up that foundation, you know, I mean, because, you know, I know where I came from in terms of the music and where I want to go. And I think it's very important for me to have that base, you know, in terms of a family and a home setup, you know, so.
Yeah, well, let's say good things begin at home, so a solid foundation is a good place to start off. And I guess basically that's what you were planning on doing.
Yeah.
When I met you first, might be about 8 or 10 years ago, I guess you were fresh on the scene, and you seems to have made an impact very quickly. Tell us about the formative years and what was some of the songs that really catapult you onto the scene.
From the actual beginning, I started off in the soca business in 2001, and from that, before that, I represented Grenada at the Caribbean Song Festival. They used to have this regional competition, which is just as maybe American Idol or any of the regional, any of the competitions here. But it was called Caribbean Song Festival, and it featured the best acts from each representing the country in terms of singing and writing and stuff. And I represented Grenada in that year. I did exceptionally well, and I went on to to the soca music, you know, because I've always had a passion for the soca.
Right.
And I decided as my culture, you know, I want to make a contribution towards it.
Right.
You know, and in 2001 I came on the scene, and you know, that year, you know, got into the finals.
So let me ask you, before we even get to 2001, when you were representing for the first time in that, I guess, amateur contest that you cleaned up,
Yeah.
was it original material or?
Original material. I had a song back there called "The Needs of the Caribbean," which was foreseen coming into the 2001 era, the 2003 era, talking about Caribbean unity and the need for the Caribbean to come together.
So it was a social commentary?
Well, more or less a regional commentary.
Original commentary,
Yeah. Because it was a regional competition, you know,
Okay.
so, and that song was played on GBN for a number of years, because I guess, you know, it was a highlight of the whole CSME progress and stuff, you know. So.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, man.
And so that kind of was your springboard into
the soca music, and from 2001, as I said, I got a taste. I was in the finals, and I developed a fan base very rapidly.
You were in the Calypso finals?
Soca.
The soca
finals, yeah.
Okay.
And that was my first year. I made a trip up here to New York, and I really enjoyed it that year.
Yeah.
And that was a great Labor Day.
But you had a groovy song that year.
I had a groovy.
What was the groovy song?
On Fire.
Out
of Fire, yeah.
Yeah. Give me a line.
You set me on fire, now I can't out, yeah. And on top of that, you want me to shut me mouth, girl. I'm feeling a heat flowing through my vein. Somebody please call the fire brigade, 'cause I like the way it feeling. Please don't stop the jamming. That was way back, man. Baby, give it to me all night, all night, all night.
So you started off on your feet.
Yeah, man.
Still sound good in
Yeah,
2013.
2013.
That was a great start,
Yeah,
I think. And so from there, tell us, in your estimation, roughly how many songs would you say you have recorded?
Wow. I mean, I've never really tried to put it together, but maybe
Several.
if I guessed from the first, I had 10 albums, 10-track album, maybe over 50.
Over 50.
I mean, and I think in that short space of a time, I mean, 13 years is a long time for some people, but for me it's a short time because
Right.
I'm feeling like I'm having a new start ever so often in the journey, So,
Right.
instead of a long period of time chronologically, but musically for me it's still fresh. I'm still starting, just young.
And I know for the artist, the most difficult thing is to critique his songs in the order of comparisons,
Yeah.
because while maybe some may not have a crossover contemporary feel or a commercial appeal, but it may be a very heartfelt composition for you.
Yeah.
So if you were just to randomly say your top 5 songs that you enjoyed and shared with the public, what would be your top 5 songs that you did?
Wow, I have quite a few. I mean that same. I think this one I just sang, which is from a false album, On Fire.
Okay.
Was a pretty decent one. I think even the fans really enjoyed.
Yes.
I think I had one song called Take Your Time. I don't know, that one meant a lot to me. Meant a lot in terms of whenever I performed it, I felt a different vibe, in terms of the groovy, you go, take your time, now you're moving too fast. Gotta make this thing last forever and ever. That one, it was back in 2006, and it was, for me, a really heartfelt one.
Okay.
And I mean, progressing on to the time, I had one called If She Want Me Walk, I Walk In, that a lot of the people had liked.
Popular,
which is
yes.
Popular.
Yeah.
This year, however, I had 2 songs that I did this year that was kind of pretty deep and very meaningful to me. One being A Drinking Street, which was a song that I composed for all the fallen soldiers of Victoria in the 4 years that I've left. So much people have died. Basically,
Right.
That's a reality.
And many contribute a lot to
and
the
a lot
community.
of them have contributed to the community, and some were even icons in the carnival and in the mass. And I did a song called Drinking Street, which really spoke of some of the young people and who have died, or the persons who have made contribution towards carnival and mass in St. Mark's. So that one meant a lot to me and to the people of St. Mark's, and the feedback that I got this year was tremendous.
Okay.
For that one, and as well as Grenada My Home, which was the song that I did at the Groovy Monarch this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a song that I wrote from inside, and really gave me a nice boost into reconnecting with the bass and making an impact back into the music.
That was this year was your first time back in Grenada competitively
Officially,
since
2008.
Since 2008. So you had like a 5-year hiatus.
Hiatus.
And you went right back into the groovy and placed 4th.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very unique that you placed 4th with a song that was not just a groove song, it also told a message that was very deeply culturally rooted.
Yeah.
How you felt about taking the risk of possibly distracting from the groove by injecting more than just groove, but a cultural depth into it?
Really and truly, I mean, in my hiatus or my break, I've been really thinking about Grenadian music and our art form, and where do we go in terms of what do we market and how we market what we market. I mean, what really we're looking to show to the world.
Yes.
And in my effort to reconnect, I felt very obliged, to pay tribute to where I'm from, because really and truly, this song speaks about everything that I feel on a day-to-day basis. Really and truly, I do think about Grenada every day.
And I have to commend you on such a song.
Yeah.
And I can't see that the fact that it's a patriotic groovy being a hindrance. I see it as an asset. I mean, when Black Stallion did Caribbean Man, and nobody could have said that the social commentary wasn't groovy enough. You know what I mean?
You see, and I think when the carnival is over, and I mean, I wouldn't say the noise, but the hype.
The hype and the bumps
over.
and circumstance.
What would we like to share with a friend from St. Lucia, St. Vince,
Right.
Something that would make us proud as a people, you understand?
Right.
And in that instance, the intuition for that idea came because I think really and truly, I mean, being in the diaspora here, I have a lot of friends from other countries, and ever so often we discuss music.
Of course.
And sometimes what I get excited about, they look at me like, oh really? I mean, that to them makes no sense, but that's why we were going crazy last carnival over. But that's us culturally. I mean, that's a next situation or a conversation. But that song, Grenada My Home, really had a deep meaning, And actually, the first time I got the idea and I started vibing it, I wanted to do it for Independence, 2012 Independence Monarch in New York.
Right.
So, you know, I brought the idea to Val and I was sharing it with him, and Val was going like crazy. He was like, you have to sing that song, you have to sing that song.
Val
you know,
missed that
he really,
piece,
really he encouraged me and pushed me, and he said, this song will go far, you will do well with that song, you know.
Well, I have to commend you again on coming forth. I don't know how important it is to place in a particular position, but I think it was quite an achievement to just get back into the ring, starting at number 4, which means that the only place to go is up.
Up, yep.
Again.
Yeah.
You had a song this year which I haven't heard you mention, and I have to say, just within the nouns of party and groove.
Yeah.
Don't ask me the correct name of it. I won't tell you from the back of the truck to the front.
Taking a wine.
Yeah, taking a wine. Give me a line in that one.
That one is actually, I think, was one of my more bouncy, groovy ones in terms of what the people were responding to.
One would have think that you would have done that for Groovy Soca because it had that carnival street atmosphere.
Yeah, it does have that carnival street atmosphere, and between me and you, the few pieces that I've performed it, they were getting better response.
Yeah.
But considering that I took that break from the music, you understand, which is already a shadow over my head, you know, coming back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know how the whole...
So you had to make a strategic move.
I wanted to make... It was all about strategy. And for me, my strength in Grenada, my home, was undoubted in terms of, you know, taking a wine. Because I think it would have been a good song, it would have been delivered well, but I don't think it would have had the same impact that Grenada, my home, might have had in terms of resonating with a certain audience, let's say over 40 or 50, who not too much into the hype, but listening to certain message or what you're saying in the music. So it was strategy more or less, you know.
No.
But that song, actually, Taking a Wine, it was one of my favorites as well.
Well, and it's very recent, so I think it goes a long way, or it has the potential to go a long way as far as commercial success. We talk in that kind of language now. You have a very silky, velvety, smooth, crossoverish type of tone and delivery. So to say this, and I know that you've had tremendous success with the up-tempo songs. They say we drunk already as you too, right?
Yeah.
But what would you say is your strength? Which aspect of the genre are you like most? Is it, let's say, groovy? Is it up-tempo? Is it the more lyrical compositions? What part of the art from that you like most?
I think, well, basically I started off in the church, you know. I mean, I used to sing in church and stuff, so...
Is that where that velvety,
smooth
delivery
singing more or less come from? Yeah, and I sang in a couple of choirs, Youth Squeak, and a couple of the choirs. You know, so I mean, through the years, that voice, is something. It didn't come overnight, basically.
Okay.
I prefer the groovy and the slower songs. I think it brings out the best in my voice and my vocals. You know, as a singer.
You know, I happen to agree with you.
You know, yeah. As a singer, I think it's better for me. For a matter of fact, as I grow older in the music, I am feeling more obliged towards the groovy, and even towards reggae and the slower music that requires, you know, quality vocals.
Yeah, and there seems to be more of a staying power, more longevity in songs that are delivered in a more deliberate fashion. I mean, so to speak.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. You know, and I think going forward, you know, there's a lot of artists and fans and friends who've been knocking me over the years, you know, yo, why don't you sing more groovy? Why don't you slow down and just, you know, use your voice? You have one of the, you know, better voices, whatever. Yeah. But the thing is, before I started singing, I started playing. I was a drummer.
Okay.
You know, and rhythm for me is something that really excites me and turns me excited. You know, and I started off with the jab thing early in the game with a song called, you know, Black as Hell, which, you know, had the whole western side pretty nice. Yeah. So I developed a fan base and a love for the jab kind of up tempo, you know, kind of rhythm. So every year I kind of always feel like, you know, I have to do something for that sector of my audience, you know.
Drunk Already, that was what year?
That was 2008.
2008. Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of what is humbling for me, you know, to take a break at the almost peak, because that was one of my biggest, most popular songs. And you take a break right at that point, you know, and then to come back and make, you know, that impact. It's really humbling, you know. And I mean, it might seem like little to some, but for me, you know, who achieve and appreciate the humble and the simple things, it means a lot, you know.
Yeah. With family and everything else that you're concentrating on, is this year just you saying, you know what, let me dabble in it a bit again and then I'll see when else, or do you,
No,
where do you
man,
go from
right
here?
now, serious thing, Papi. You will see more of me, you'll hear more of me,
Yeah.
you'll hear different quality, different production, and different venture. As I say, you know, I have a couple of music enough to make a reggae album right now, if
Right.
I choose to.
Yes.
You know, but, you know, it's based on certain quality that I'm striving towards too, because, I mean, I set the bar really high this year with Grenada My Home and
Yes.
taking my wine in terms of quality music. So, you know, it has a lot to do with me, not only about quantity, how much, you know, load of songs. That is never a problem with me, you know. But the quality is very important going forward. So,
Right.
you know.
Returning back to Grenada on the big stage again for the first time in about 4 or 5 years, what is the thing that strikes you most as far as what have changed, the direction that things are headed? Do you think it's headed in a progressive direction? Do you think it's getting there quick enough? What is your opinion on this, the scenes in Grenada right now?
Basically, what I've returned to, I mean, in terms of the talent in Grenada, the amount of talent and the quality of talent is unquestionable.
Yes.
We have huge talent. I mean, undoubtedly, I think the music is in good hands in terms of, you know, the youth that is upcoming.
Right.
However, I think the structures around it, you know, there's much more left to be desired in terms of the organizations and how things are running, and, you know, what the artists benefit from, and how the whole game is set up on the network. And I'm not really, you know, bashing any particular one, you know, but I think, you know, artists need to take a more proactive role in the whole activity of Carnival, and let the necessary organizers know that they really and truly have more at stake than the way it is, you know. So you can knock down whoever is the organizer, but I think the music, in terms of the artists and the young talent that I'm seeing, is in good hands.
Right.
But there's more to be done in terms of
But
the
do you
whole
think the
structure.
handlers and the administrators apparently have neglected to understand the seriousness of the undertakings, the need for studying it almost academically to present it the right way?
I think that has always been a problem in different sectors and fields in our community, and it reflects right back into the Carnival in terms of how much we take for granted.
Yes.
You know, that people, we take these things for granted. I mean, there's undoubted statistic to show that Carnival contributes significantly to the economy.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
and somehow whoever seems to be the main beneficiaries don't seem to be, you know, giving their fair share of the preparation in terms of making certain things possible.
Right.
You understand, on a national level.
Right.
I mean, for instance, something as simple as, I mean, I don't mean to be too critical, but something as simple as the broadcasting of the Soca Monarch and Groovy. I think if it's something that we're selling internationally, and the entire diaspora is listening, we would tend to stem that whoever we had there would be trained enough to know that the tone that they're using, we're not being hypocrite,
Yeah.
but we're trying to project a positive picture,
Yeah.
an image of our product.
Yeah.
You understand? And give criticism where it's due, but at the end of the day, you understand, the image, the general picture that we're trying to project
Yes.
should be positive. You
Yeah,
understand?
and we should put that first.
And that should be first. And I mean, it's little things like that make our package lack in
Yeah.
a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
You know. So
So you think the overall selling of our product needs to be improved?
Yeah, of course. I mean, something for instance as simple. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say it. I mean, I'm a participant of the competition. I came forth, and I was asking days after, I was asking for where at least I could even buy a copy of the Soca Monarch, and I can't get it because of the red lines. You understand?
Right.
Whoever filmed it, they have to get permission from the Carnival committee, and then the whole. I'm just saying, simple
Yeah.
things like that to check out.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna find somebody with a bootleg one on
Yeah,
the street,
already.
which is not necessarily the legitimate source, you know.
Right. So there's logistical problems too.
There's a lot of little things about it.
Did you have the time to just pass around the various other events and happenings that is all part of Carnival? Did you have some time?
I've been to a few. I mean, White in the Moonlight was huge.
Yeah.
It was great. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, the crowd, the vibe out there. Man.
Is that the type of thing that you believe is good for Carnival and the culture, or do you think it
I've always been a roots man, you know.
Yeah.
I've always been a Grongs person too as well. My whole career is based on the Grongs. I mean, for instance, I recall in earlier days when we would go to certain places like in the back of Roseville or somewhere in Poetry or somewhere in the back of Closure or somewhere like that. And they call in artists, and only two artists might be there, Ello and Zingo. You know, Zingo always there.
Yeah.
But
down to earth on the ground.
Yeah, always
homegrown
things. And one of the things that used to be a problem is when it comes to the bigger shows, sometimes you say, you don't live with all these guys. But basically, that I believe in grassroots, and I think that more grassroots activity needs to be generated, because right now, I mean, I'm telling you straight up, the build-up was a little bit.
Okay.
You know, the build-up to the carnival wasn't as great as before, you know. Weeks before, the atmosphere, the vibe, you know. But this year, you know, it brought along just the weekend and the 2 days, you know. And I think one of the problem, I mean, not bashing, but we have to come to common reasoning between the necessary, like the police officers and the carnival committee and all the stakeholders to make sure that even
sponsors and so
and everything,
forth,
because between me and you, the road show is something that really builds the vibes before.
Right.
You know, the people look forward, even before the rides that the people had to practice.
That used to be a Carib sponsored event, right? Is it
yeah,
still
and
that?
then the villages started doing their own thing, you know.
Right.
And even the rights to practice mass, you know, like they used to practice the Veco and stuff, you know, weeks before.
Right.
And the shotgun and thing, weeks before, you know, that tradition kind of get cut off because of, you know, restrictions.
Like the greenhouse jab rehearsal up the road.
All these things that it builds an atmosphere before the actual festival, you know. So, you know, with all these things and then, you know, much more could be done. But I think it was a great carnival. I think it was wonderful. I mean, in terms of me personally, mission accomplished. In terms of the other artists, I love what I saw, and I think it was great. You know, I mean, enough oil long cooked down the same way.
Yes,
big up the Oildown Factory.
Well, speaking of Oildown, I mean, you can't think of a program with a better name than Oildown Factory. You know,
everything
the right colors, just like the Kaiso and Isuka.
Yeah, man, everything mixed up.
Big up to Oildown Factory, and it's really good to have you here. Where does Ello go from here?
I mean, from here, you know, it's just bigger and better things, hopefully by the grace of God and the Creator, you know. I try to do my best to always take Grenada and Grenada's flag and represent, you know, as positive as I can, as genuine as I can, and just, you know, with love, you know, because at the end of the day, whatever is happened, the past is done, you know. It's just looking towards the future and being more optimistic and, you know,
get bigger and better.
Bigger and better, you know, and I just appeal to some of the DJs same way, you know, some of the DJs and some of the people, they like to watch face, you know, as they say, we watch face, you know, but they just don't watch face, just lower the music and let's take the thing to the next level, you understand, because we have a lot of talent, you understand, but we can't take it too personal in terms of, you know, what we push and what we don't push. Let's just take what is the best for us and take it to the next level, you know.
Going back into Spice, did you find there were any type of pushbacks, there were any kind of obstacles, there were any type of scenarios or situations that made you felt that it made it more difficult for someone who is not currently residing to come in and be a part of the action?
I don't know if it's because I've already programmed my mind as to, you know, to ignore even if it's there like that. You know, because I know what to expect. I mean, you took a break and then you come back with this thing. And it's like,
if you inundate yourself with the bad vibes, it just overcomes you.
But really and truly, I mean, it is evident, because I've heard little statements, especially it is alarming when it comes from artists, you know. Making it like, you just come back and you go and you this and that. And I mean, when you know you're out here in these places, you know, you're trying to make a life for yourself. But inside of you, that fire's still burning. So
it's about representing.
And you're representing someone.
And then you go back only to find that you're not appreciated.
And for a matter of fact, it was very obvious. I see people, I mean, I go down here happy to women in the green, you know, green that thing, and some of these guys over there repping, you know, different countries, I'm just saying, you know. So it's just a matter of maybe mixed priority, but it's not good. It's not good when they give you that pushback like you are for, you know, you just come back and all this thing, you know.
No, well, I think it's important for the leaders to, not just in terms of carnival and culture, but socially, educationally, in every way, to see the importance of uniting Grenadians expatriates and those who are currently reside, because the strength comes at some point or another. Many of our great leaders have had to be in other places, and oftentimes for the reasons of getting even better, to go back home and make a contribution. So we hope that they see the importance of keeping the forces united, regardless of which part of the globe you are.
You are, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by the Oildown Factory. Stuff are churning up nicely for you.
Yeah, man.
And I hope it works out.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Mr. Costa. You know, I always appreciate
Anytime,
the vibes.
yeah.
You know, you do your thing, and you do your thing professionally. Big up, you know, the Oildown
Skywalker.
Factory,
Yeah, the originator himself.
Yeah, man, the original,
the one
you
who
know.
pushed the woods under the fire.
Yeah, man. I appreciate being the guinea pig. It's a love, it's a vibe. You understand the Oildown Factory set up right now. And thing I'm about to go. All the artists, link up that man. I tell you, the vibe's nice.